I'm back. Let's put this up a little bit. I know. You're all happy to see me. Right? That's what they all say. Okay, let's put this up like that. I don't know why this thing is being like that, but okay, whatever. So, back on track. I just had some supper. I didn't say it was what the date was, so it is, we're going through the coronavirus right now, and being told worldwide to stay indoors and to isolate, so that this flu bug will die off and disappear, I guess. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, I found Dad's books today. I decided to go through them, and today is, I believe, the 13th or the 14th of March 2019. Sorry, 2020. Anyway, so the next poem that my dad wrote is called City Lights. Life is likened to a city of lights, as they glow both great and the small. Should one of those lights flicker and die, would we notice? No, I say not at all. But the ones close by, how they would. Grape in the dark. How they would what? How they would grape in the dark, with their feet moving slow on the floor. Soon the dark would be lightened with light, then things would be as before. So life is likened to a city of lights, as they glow both the great and the small. Should one of those lights flicker and die, would we notice? No, I say not at all. The energy saved from the flickering light would be stored in the memory of God. Only He alone would know all the wrong and the right in every step that person has trod. By Urban Heath. Nick Heath in brackets. Ode to Eileen Doreen Heath. That is the name of my mummy. That's my mummy. My dad wrote a song for Mummy, and he wrote a poem for my sister, and that's it. He didn't write anything for my brother, and he didn't write anything for me. And I'm a little angry about that. Was it because we weren't as important? Was it because he never had time to do it? I don't know. I'll never know. Okay, here we go. Ode to Eileen Doreen Heath. To tell you first, my mother was orphaned when she was really young, like 2, and then she was with a foster family who wanted to adopt her, and she was speaking fluent French for I guess a year or so. And then in those days, when a spouse died, the adoption wouldn't go through, and my mom was sent back to the orphanage and other foster families. But so actually, she was supposed to be a French girl, growing up in a French town, speaking French with a French mom and daddy. Well, it didn't happen, and she was a baby when that happened, so she wouldn't have remembered being an orphan if that would have happened, but it wasn't meant to be. So anyways, the husband died while they were going through the process of adopting my mom. And then it fell through, and she got sent back to the orphanage, and then she was in a lot of abusive foster families in those days in the USA. Yes, my mother was a United States citizen. She was born in the U.S. Anyways, so the foster system there in the U.S., well, it's still really shitty, according to Dr. Phil. But anyway, pretty shitty back then too. My mom would run away several times, and they would bring her back, And they would, the foster families would always put her in a nice, clean, white dress and give her a couple of toys, you know, have food there for her to eat whenever they would show up for the visits to see how my mom was doing. And then as soon as the organization people, social workers, whatever the hell they were, as soon as they left, the fancy dress was taken away. My mom was given one dress, one pair of shoes, I think 2 pairs of socks, maybe a couple pair of underwear. Her clothes were always dirty. She had to change diapers by the age of, when she was like 5, 6, 7, she was changing baby diapers and scrubbing floors, doing all the housework and dishes and all the shitty work that you could imagine. And they never let her play much. Then in school, when my mother went to school for the first few years, they thought there was something wrong with her. And so in those days they didn't know a whole lot, so they called her dumb, and they thought she had something wrong with her brain. So they sent her home to the foster families. And sorry for the noise in the kitchen. I can't really do anything about that. It's very noisy. Anyways, she was sent to foster homes and abused there. On top of that, they pulled her out of school because they thought she was dumb, and it turns out she didn't understand the language. She was French, not English, and apparently they didn't know that back then, what that was, and so she had to clean the schools in the evenings instead of going to school. So eventually, after my mom had us, she taught herself how to read, she taught herself how to write. She was too ashamed to go to school to learn, and so that sucks to be her. But she still managed to raise us anyways. Dad was never home. He had to work all of the time, I guess, to make ends meet. And so Mom had to raise us all alone. Anyways, that's a little bit about my mother. Tough road she had to follow there. Anyways, this song Dad wrote for her. I don't know how the tune went though. But I'm going to sing it like, you know, Beverly Hillbillies. Remember that show? I'm going to sing it in the tune of that. I'll tell you of a lady, I'll sing you a song. I'll sing you a song. The road she did travel was lonely and long. No mother to guide her, dad by her side. No one to love her with nowhere to hide. She dreamed of a world, a place she could be, with brothers and sisters, her own family. The first time I saw her, I knew right away. She stole my heart and she kept it that day. Promised to marry and make her my wife. Okay, that's how that goes. Bye.